I get it, you're staring at a cart full of welding gear and wondering if you're about to throw good money down the drain. You've probably read a few vague reviews that either rave about awesome protection or warn you about overpriced kits, but those don't tell you whether this set will actually work for the kinds of jobs you do day to day. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. Let's walk through the Lincoln Electric Premium Welding Gear Ready-Pak and see if it really delivers the kind of value a hobbyist or small shop welder is looking for, or if it's just another bundle that ends up sitting in the back of the closet. First off, the Ready-Pak is essentially a pre-assembled toolbox for welders who want everything they need to suit up in one go. The package bundles a premium auto-darkening helmet, 3 pairs of leather welding gloves, a leather arm guard, flame-resistant, FR, body protection, and a handful of other safety items that you'd normally have to source separately. That sounds convenient, but the real question is whether the pieces inside hold up when you're actually striking an arc on a metal frame or welding a backyard fence. If you're a hobbyist who only pulls the trigger a few times a month, you might wonder if you really need a premium helmet with auto-darkening technology. The helmet in this kit uses the Viking 3350 series auto-darkening filter, which is a model many seasoned welders trust for quick shade changes and decent resistance to impact. In practice, I've seen users describe the shade transition as almost instant, no more waiting for the filter to catch up while the arc is already scorching the workpiece. For someone who's still learning the timing of a weld, that can be a real confidence booster. On the flip side, the helmet isn't the Topophyline 4C model that you'd see on a professional shipyard. It lacks some of the higher-end features like a built-in Bluetooth or a fully interchangeable grind mode. If you're planning to spend dozens of hours a week under the hood, you might eventually outgrow it and look for a helmet with a broader shade range and better battery life. The 3 pairs of leather welding gloves are another highlight. They're cut from a thick, full-grain leather that holds up surprisingly well to repeated exposure to spatter and heat. In a real-world scenario, say you're welding a metal gate for a client, the first pair will protect your hands through a full day of work without developing hot spots or tearing at the fingertips. The fact that you get 3 pairs means you can rotate them, letting each set dry out and regain its stiffness between jobs. That rotation is something you only get when you buy a bundle. Buying single gloves would usually leave you with just 1 pair and the hassle of laundry after each shift. A downside worth noting is that the gloves are on the bulkier side, which can make intricate work like pipe welding a bit more cumbersome. If you're the type who needs a nimble grip for detailed TIG work, you might prefer a thinner, more dexterous glove even if it means sacrificing some heavy-duty protection. Body protection in this kit includes a flame-resistant shirt and a leather arm guard. The FR shirt meets basic industrial safety standards, meaning it will self-extinguish if a flame contacts it. For a weekend project, maybe rebuilding a rusted trailer frame, the shirt gives you peace of mind without adding a lot of weight. The leather arm guard, however, is cut to cover the forearm and upper arm but not the entire sleeve. That design works fine for stick welding where the arc is usually low, but if you're doing a lot of overhead MIG work, the exposed upper arm can still be vulnerable to spatter. Some welders I've talked to actually layer a thin FR sleeve underneath the leather for extra coverage, which adds a step to the dressing routine but eliminates that blind spot. What really sets this Ready-Pak apart is the all-in-one convenience factor. For a newcomer to welding, hunting down each piece of safety gear from different vendors can be daunting. You might end up with a helmet that doesn't match your glove size, or you could overspend on a high-end helmet when a mid-range model would have been sufficient. By pulling this bundle, you get a coordinated set that's sized to work together, and the price point lands somewhere in the middle of buying everything separately. In other words, you're paying for the convenience of a matched set rather than just the raw material cost. That's where the value lies. If you appreciate a honest-op solution and want to get up and running quickly, the Ready-Pak makes sense. On the other side of the ledger, the kit's rating hovers around 3.5 stars from a small pool of reviewers. That tells me there's a mixed reception, likely because the product tries to please a broad audience. Some users who are accustomed to high-end, single-piece purchases may feel the components are good enough but not exceptional. If you're a professional welder who already owns a favorite,